Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. If you're back there, come on forward. Don't be shy. I'm Brian Riendo, Executive Director of the Dare to Care Food Bank. And on behalf of our staff, our Board of Directors, and the Novak Family Foundation, I'd like to welcome all of you here on this chilly fall morning in the Parkland, beautiful Parkland neighborhood to help us celebrate the groundbreaking of the Dare to Care Community Kitchen. Woo! 2019 marks the 50th year that Dare to Care has been serving this community, and over that period of time, we've provided food and hope to thousands of struggling families, seniors, and children. Our work has been, and over that half century, we've innovated and evolved our programming to meet the ever-changing needs of the community. Our work has been guided by listening to and responding to the voice of that community. That strategy has resulted in new programming like Backpack Buddy, school pantries, prescriptive pantries, and Cooking Matters, our nutrition education program. In 2013, in partnership with the Novak Family Foundation, we launched the Dare to Care Community Kitchen in Butchertown, and immediately tripled the number of children we reach in after-school sites with hot, nutritious meals. And most recently, we partnered with Kroger to launch the Zero Hunger Mobile Market, which is designed to bring fresh, healthy food and make it available for sale to people who lack access to a full-service grocery store. Through these programs and through a network of 270 amazing partner agencies, many of whom are here with us this morning, we've provided a lot of food and a lot of hope to a lot of people. But the hard reality is we have a lot of work ahead of us before we can say with confidence that everyone in this community has enough to eat at all times to live an active and healthy life. Over 170,000 of our neighbors struggle daily to get the food they need, and I'm sure you'd agree with me that that's simply unacceptable in a community as great and as compassionate as this one. And so as we look to the future, it's pretty clear Dare to Care needs to do some things differently if we're going to achieve our vision of a hunger-free Kentuckiana. Research we've conducted over the last 3 years has revealed barriers to food security that our current operating model and our current programs simply can't address. For example, we've learned that there's a lot more kids in this community that need a hot, nutritious meal through the Kids Cafe program, but our current kitchen lacks the capacity to produce those meals. We've learned there's hundreds of kids, primarily in rural counties, who we can't reach right now because we lack the capacity to produce healthy frozen meals, which we can store and transport over longer distances. We learned that, and this is no surprise, there's thousands of seniors in this community who can't get to a grocery store because of transportation or mobility issues. And we've learned that even if they do get to a grocery store, they don't have the capacity to cook that food when they get their groceries home. Many of our clients are single parents working multiple jobs and taking public transportation. Our current model does a great job of getting lots of fresh, healthy groceries to those folks, but what our model misses is the fact that these folks lack time to prepare those healthy meals, and so they turn to cheaper, unhealthy alternatives. And finally, we learned that in spite of the booming economy, basic job skills remain a barrier to many people getting that first job. So today, in partnership with the Novak Family Foundation, we break ground on the Dare to Care Community Kitchen. When we open this facility next spring, we'll be able to immediately begin knocking down those barriers I just talked about. But more importantly, this facility that we're sitting in today is going to serve as an innovation and testing platform, a place where we can take risks and fail and try again, and fail and try again until we get it right. And that's going to be a platform that this community will have, an asset that this community will have available for decades to come. This facility will triple the square footage of our current kitchen, allowing us to feed more children, produce meals for those seniors, develop healthy frozen transportable meals, and do value-added processing to the grocery items that we're currently distributing in bulk form. It will host the Catholic Charities Common Table Culinary Training Program, which is going to help folks get the skills they need to get that first job. It's going to have a classroom with a demonstration kitchen where we're going to expand our nutrition education programming and partner with groups looking to provide health, education, and fitness initiatives here in the Parkland neighborhood. This building is going to house 20 administrative staff that are currently at our Fern Valley location, including our leadership team. And finally, we're going to reserve 2,000 square feet of this building. We're going to shell it out and leave it unfinished, and we're going to have a discussion with the community about what would be the best and highest use of that space for the Parkland community. There's a lot of people and a lot of organizations that made today a reality, and I'm going to be back up after our speakers to thank those folks. But in the meantime, I'd like to introduce Lisa DiGiaco. Lisa is the CEO of Catholic Charities of Louisville. She's a board member of Dare to Care, and Catholic Charities is the collaborative partner that will be helping us with our culinary training initiative. So please join me in welcoming Lisa DiGiaco.
Thanks, Brian. I'm so pleased to be here. I'm Lisa DiGiaco-Crutcher. I am a board member of Dare to Care, a position I've held even longer than I've been the Chief Executive Officer at Catholic Charities. So this is a great day for me to see both of these organizations have such a wonderful opportunity to move forward with their missions. Catholic Charities of Louisville has been active in this community for 80 years, providing opportunities to families and individuals. We welcome, strengthen, and empower people to make the journey to self-sufficiency. We have 9 different programs through which we do that, and in a number of different programs, we're collaborating with Dare to Care. Dare to Care is a long-standing partner of ours, particularly at the Sister Visitor Center, just a few miles away, where we operate a food pantry that serves much of West Louisville. But we're really excited about the opportunity that this building will bring to our Common Table program. Common Table is one of our newest programs, conceived of about 5 years ago, with a dual purpose. For one thing, Common Table is a social enterprise. It includes a catering operation component that we hope eventually will help provide a stream of revenue to fund some of the other programs that we operate at Catholic Charities, in addition to funding all of its own activity. Because the other part of Common Table is really the most critical piece of it, and that's the job training that it provides to individuals who have barriers to employment. This program is an on-ramp to self-sufficiency for so many people who have been out of the labor market. In some cases, people have been incarcerated and are coming to find their way back into society. Or perhaps they have conquered an addiction and are looking to return to the working world. Or in some cases, they're young people who began their families before they really had the opportunity to begin their employment. And what they need is to find some opportunity to give them a chance to develop marketable job skills, and just as importantly, those critical soft skills that you need when you're coming into the labor market for the first time. So this is an 8-week program that we operate that has the purpose of both giving people the practical skills that they need for work in a commercial kitchen, and also those essential soft skills that you need in any workplace, but particularly in the often high stress and intense work that happens in a kitchen environment. It's a wonderful program. We're very proud of it. The program director, Laura Stevens, is here today, and I believe we have some Common Table students who are here as well. If you're a Common Table student, raise your hand and wave for us. I was talking to a few of the students the other day. They're very disappointed that they will be finishing the class before this building is open, and they're able to make the move over here because this new facility is going to mean wonderful things for our Common Table program. Currently, our program is limited in scope and in size simply because of the facility from which we're operating. We operate in the kitchen of the old St. Anthony Parish buildings down at 23rd and West Market Street, and we do what we can there. But this is going to be a really fantastic opportunity for us, both to make the classes larger and to give our students some really great experience in hands-on use of larger equipment, larger projects, and to give people something important to be part of, because the first month of their work in our program, our students will be participating actively in preparing those meals for the community kitchen. And that's a wonderful thing, to know that the work that they're doing is not just going to be improving their own lives, the lives of their own family members, but every single day putting warm, healthy food into the stomachs of kids around our community. So we're super excited about what this means for our program, for Dare to Care, and for everybody in our community. We're so glad to have the chance to be here today, and we thank all of you all for the support that you're giving to the project. We look forward to seeing what's to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Behind any successful organization is a great board of directors. We have many of them here today. So if you're a member of the board of directors of Dare to Care, either current or former, would you please stand or raise your hand? Don't be shy. Ann, Al, stand. Dave. Let's give these guys a round of applause. It's really their vision and their ability to think out of the box and allow staff to take risks that led to making today a reality. Behind any visionary project like this also happens to be a visionary lead donor. The Novak Family Foundation has been a partner of Dare to Care since we opened our first community kitchen 6 years ago. Their support over that time has helped us feed thousands and thousands of struggling children across this community. Now, their lead gift of $2.5 million has helped launch our campaign and brought this project to fruition. Please join me in thanking David Novak, Wendy Novak, and Ashley Butler for that incredible support. David also happens to be my former boss, so I had to say that. I'd like now to bring to the stage Ashley Butler. Ashley is Dare to Care's board chair, and she's the director of the Novak Family Foundation, so please join me in welcoming Ashley.
Thank you, Brian. This is a really exciting day. I am thrilled to be here in this building, and for those of you who have not been in this building before, believe me, it looks 10 times better than the first time we stepped foot in here. So this is really exciting. We're already seeing progress. On behalf of the Dare to Care Board of Directors, I want to thank you all for being here. It's been my honor to serve as their board chair for the past year. And it's just been absolutely lovely to work with so many incredible people around a vision for ending hunger in our community. And so I know Brian already acknowledged it, but I do want to thank our board of directors for your leadership and support, because it is really fun to work with a group of people and dream the what if. What if we could do this? What if we could do it? And in the nonprofit space, to actually have the courage to say, yes, we can, and to raise money, it's not an easy task. So our board has done a phenomenal job. I also want to thank Brian for his visionary leadership to say yes and to just lead the way with his staff. We like to partner with organizations that are really making that happen within the community and taking that step of faith and courage, but informed. And believe me, it is calculated, right, Brian? It's been an honor to work with him and his incredible staff to see this happen. I don't think there's a better organization in Louisville, but I'm very biased, obviously. Basically, when you become passionate about something, it's typically because of a personal experience. And I want to share kind of why I got involved with Dare to Care and why this kitchen is so important. When I, it was probably 4.5 years ago, I had the opportunity to serve one of our community kitchen cafes at meals at Portland Neighborhood House. I was serving it in the meal. The kids were walking through. This one girl walked through at the very end of the meal, got her food, sat down, started eating. She was at a table by herself. I had the opportunity to go sit with her and just get to know her over a meal. Turns out that they had just moved to Louisville, landed in Portland, and that her father knew that she could get a hot meal at Portland Neighborhood House, and it's what brought her there. And that is the power of food. Food provides hope. Food provided the opportunity for me to get to know her a little bit longer. And it also provided the opportunity for the staff at Portland Neighborhood House to come meet that incredible girl and get to know her and her dreams about becoming a nurse. So welcome to Louisville, Cheyenne. That's the kind of community that we have, and that's what this kitchen will allow us to do, because we can now serve more kids through this community kitchen. We can start serving seniors in congregate settings, providing health screenings, but they get to have a meal, come down from out of their room and be known. We have so many opportunities to take produce and turn it into something that people would like to eat. Butternut squash is our favorite example. You got to turn that into butternut squash soup, right? That's a little bit more delicious than just eating the plain stuff. So this is really a vision for the future, this kitchen, and what we're able to do. We're going to more effectively be able to provide things to this community that are needed beyond the traditional food banking model. And so I want to thank everyone in this room. I see so many incredible partners, so many nonprofit organization leadership here that are doing incredible work in our community. That support is what makes Louisville so great. And so I just want to thank you all for being here. It's an honor for us as a family to be able to provide this lead gift and to be able to do something and make a difference in an area that we care very deeply about, because no one in our community should go to bed hungry. That is not an option. So thank you. That's why we're here today, and that's why we're giving, and it's because of all of you that we're able to do that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashley. Yum Brands has been Dare to Care's largest single supporter since 2002, and their 17 years of partnership has allowed Dare to Care to do things that no other food bank in the country has been able to do. No other food bank in the country has had that kind of consistent support year in and year out, not directed to anything in particular, but allowing the staff to make and the board to make the choice of where those dollars go. That's rare in a corporate partner, and they have been transformational for us. Every campaign like this, we have to raise $7 million to do this project. Every campaign like this starts out with a bang. You get a couple big gifts in and everybody's got momentum, and then you hit that middle period where you kind of fall into a lull. Anybody who's raised money knows this. And you needed something to kickstart you. And a while back, Yum Brands came to us and said, how would $1 million gift to the campaign affect the way your progress? And I said, I think it would help. So out of the blue, Yum appeared on the scene again with $1 million gift, and that injected just incredible momentum into the campaign. So I couldn't be more grateful for their support. So please join me in welcoming Dave Russell, a Dare to Care board member and the Senior Vice President of Finance and Corporate Controller for Yum Brands.
Thank you, Brian. I'm honored to represent Yum Brands here today. David was also my boss at one point in time. As part of my responsibilities at Yum, I help prepare our financial statements, which is very important that those be accurate for investors, or there's implications if they're not. And David always jokingly referred to me as the guy who kept him out of jail over the years. So I feel like me doing that has made this whole kitchen possible. So anyway. But seriously, Yum Brands, since Yum moved to Louisville and decided to make its headquarters here in Louisville, and since 1997, the company has been extremely committed towards giving back to the community, helping unlock the community's potential. We get tremendously high scores on engagement surveys we perform with our employees around "I'm proud to work at Yum Brands," and I think that says a lot to do with how we represent ourselves in the community and how we support this community that they work and live in. So we're really, really proud of that. The other thing that Yum has always been focused on is fighting hunger. And under David's leadership, we've done a lot over the years to help combat hunger, both here in Louisville as well as globally. So it fits really well within both of those missions to support Dare to Care here in Louisville, and we couldn't be more pleased to give the $1 million to this kitchen today. I will also say, having watched this from the inside and watching Brian and team over the past years as a Dare to Care board member, this is a fantastic organization. There are organizations like this all over the country, food banks all over the country, right? And this is truly a world-class organization. The things that this group gets done under Brian's leadership and the team's leadership are truly fantastic. And it's really, really great to see the vision that they have for this thing come to life with this community kitchen. So once again, thank you, Novak Foundation. Thank you, Dare to Care. Yum Brands is thrilled to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, David. We have two donors who came in at the $500,000 plus level, and I want to recognize those now. The first one is the James Graham Brown Foundation. Is Virginia Lee here with us? There she is back there. Everybody give Virginia Lee and her board have been phenomenal supporters. The second organization that's supporting us at that level is the City of Louisville. Since Mayor Fischer's first election 9 years ago, Dare to Care has enjoyed a partnership with and the support of local government that, again, no other food bank in the country enjoys. Under Greg's leadership, the city stepped forward, and they offered us this building for $1 a year for 25 years. I tried hard to get him down from that price. I wanted 50 cents, but he wouldn't budge. And they're also contributing over $500,000 to the renovations of this program. Obviously, simply put, we couldn't have done this without the support of the city, led by Greg. So please join me in welcoming the country's greatest mayor, Greg Fischer.
All right, thank you, Brian. It's amazing what $500,000 will get you there. I have never been more happy to walk into an empty shell of a building and just envision what's going to take place here. We have been working on this project a long time, and to see it come to fruition now, and think that next May, the amount of food that's going to be pumped out of here to put in people's bellies is a very, very happy day for this city. I wish it wasn't, we didn't have to do it, but we do. So we all rise to the occasion, and I think this new facility and this new chapter in the Dare to Care story is just another powerful testament to the compassionate character of our city. We don't back down from a challenge. We get into it and we try to lift each other up. And we're here, I think, just from a historical standpoint, because 50 years ago, we need to remember that 9-year-old Bobby Ellis died of malnutrition, weighed 20 pounds at the age of 9 years old, and we commemorate that every year. And then there are people, when they hear about a tragedy like that, and they think, what can you do? And then there's other people that hear about tragedies like that and says, what am I going to do about that? And that's the compassionate response that the late Father Jack Jones had when he founded Dare to Care, saying we have to stamp out hunger in our community. And that's the compassionate response from the people who've made Dare to Care a national model for food banks over the last 50 years. And that's the compassionate response from Yum Brands, led by David, Novak, and the expanding team now over the years, where they've also said there should be no hunger in our community. And so appropriate from one of the great companies in the country that's headquartered here in no small part because of the decision that you made back in the day. So I want to recognize that as well. We love having Yum as a corporate partner here for our city. So thank you for that decision 20 years ago now. So you can say you're a compassionate city, and we all are, but the question is, how do you put it into action? And that's what we really define compassion as in our city, the respect that we have for each and every one of our citizens so that their full human potential is flourishing. It's much more than a feeling. And there's no more fundamental ingredient to doing that than access to good, nourishing food. And that's why this facility is so, so important for us, and why the work and the continued evolution of Dare to Care is so important. Average organizations start and they don't change. Great organizations are always improving and always innovating, and that's what Dare to Care is, and that's why it's a national model for us. And that's why we're super proud to partner with them and all the programs that they've got going on in the city. Brian mentioned them. They all hit hunger from a different perspective. And you're going to hear about a new program every year, twice a year from Dare to Care, because they've identified a need. Instead of walking away, they figure out how to get it done. And there's just not a lot of organizations that do that, and we're very blessed to have Dare to Care in our community. And that's why the city of Louisville is proud to be a financial partner on this. My office, the council's office, I want to recognize Barbara Sexton-Smith, who's with us here today. You'll be hearing from Councilwoman Green in a second. But there is always broad and deep support for Dare to Care when we think about how we can partner with them in the community. 170,000 people are going to be served from this facility. That's a lot of folks. And so you've got the human aspect of this, and there's another aspect of this too as it relates to the Parkland neighborhood. We're in a very historic part of the city. In 1968, after Martin Luther King's assassination, there was turmoil in cities all over the country. It was in this area of our city where civil unrest took place to protest the outrage that took place with the killing of the greatest civil rights leader that we've had in the history of our country. So there's a lot of history right here, and this is a very important intersection for our city. So to bring it back to life on a basic element of food and the other jobs and the other companies that will come and locate next to this is super important. We have the Family Scholar House right around the corner. I see Kathy Dykstra over here. So good things are happening in Parkland. And there's an additional opportunity here for more food access in our community. So we hope a partner will step up and help us provide more food in more different ways to our community. It's a good time for the renaissance of West Louisville right now. West End has got about $1 billion of capital investment taking place in it right now. So that is more than in decades and decades for our city. So this momentum and this piece right here is going to really add to that. So it's a great time to invest in West Louisville. We got another testament right here from the great folks from Dare to Care. So I want to thank Brian and Stan and everybody who's worked so hard on this over the years to make this a reality today. The hardworking staff at Dare to Care, you guys do amazing work each and every day. So thank you for the quiet work that you do that saves so many people. Again, I want to thank Ashley. Ashley, you are a tremendous leader for our community. She's quiet, but she walks and thinks like a giant. When she speaks, people listen because she's thought about something, and when she says something, it's going to be done. So I want to especially thank you, Ashley, for the wonderful work that you do, and all of the board here at Dare to Care. Again, David and Wendy, thank you guys so much for your generosity here, and for all the volunteers and supporters for Dare to Care. You guys are an amazing partner and contributor, and you define the goodness of our city. Thank you very much.
I also do, like the mayor, want to recognize our amazing Metro Council that we have here, our elected leaders. 3 years ago, Dare to Care ran into a major funding crisis, one that threatened to derail the momentum that we had built up over the previous 10 years. And we didn't know what to do, so I went up to see some friends on the Metro Council and said, hey guys, we need a little help here. We need $1 million over the next 3 or 4 years to help us backfill this funding gap until we can reestablish ourselves. And it was amazing the response we got. The council immediately stepped up, and over the last 3 years, they put us in their budget. I'd like to thank Barbara Sexton-Smith for your leadership on that. You've been an amazing partner for us. Barbara Shanklin as well has been an amazing partner, so thank you for that. We could have located this community kitchen anywhere. You know, we could have gone out to the East End, to a greenfield site, started with something nice and neat and clean. But we felt, and our board felt strongly, that we wanted to make a statement. We wanted to come to a community where we would not only be able to produce meals and food items to help drive our mission, but that we'd have some sort of collateral impact in a positive way. And the Parkland neighborhood came into our radar, and when it did, the first person I went to see was Councilwoman Jessica Green. And I said, Jessica, we're coming to your neighborhood, but we want to do it right. And we don't want to come in with the answers. We want to work with this community, find out what they need, what they want, and be and come in as a good neighbor. And Jessica has been an amazing help to us. Her advice and counsel and her staff's advice and counsel through that process has been great. And so I'd like you to join me in welcoming Councilwoman Jessica Green, who does represent this district.
Good morning and welcome to beautiful District 1. I want to recognize my colleague, Councilwoman Barbara Sexton-Smith, who is here. I saw Representative Meeks in the back, and I think Representative Scott at some point who was here. I also see residents of the Parkland neighborhood who are here, so welcome to our home. I'm so excited about this project, and when I think about what could have been here versus where we're going, I get super excited. As a child, when I was a child, this building was the meat store, a grocery store. And this is where my parents would come to do our grocery shopping. I grew up in the Chickasaw neighborhood, just a couple of miles from here. And then the store went vacant. And it sat vacant for many, many, many years. And then someone purchased the building. And that individual, I can remember saying about 2 to 3 years ago when we were in the midst of all of this, the West End needs a drive-through liquor store. And that is what I am committed to putting here because that's what the people of West Louisville need. Now, this individual did not live in West Louisville, certainly didn't speak to me, and I don't believe any neighbors to ask whether or not we wanted another liquor store. But I can tell you that at the time, the residents rose up, and that process was shut down. And I want to formally and publicly thank the mayor's staff and office for helping us to negotiate the purchase of this building. I knew that the resurrection of the Parkland neighborhood, that the acquisition of this building would be critical to be able to make this community rise. And there are people who are here in this room who can remember the old Parkland, what Parkland was like, really before my time when I was brought up. But I listened to the stories of people like Dwight Sweeney, like my assistant Chuck Weathers, and who can talk about when they were kids, what it was like to walk through Parkland. And there were African American owned thriving businesses, there were banks, there were barbershops. We're trying to get back to that level. And this building, this site is critical. I want to, again, thank Dare to Care that when they came to me, they didn't come saying, this is what we're going to do. They came to say, what do you think that the residents will want? And we hosted numerous community meetings. And I will tell you that what Dare to Care is bringing is exactly what the residents said they wanted. Access to fresh food. We are in a food desert. So the fact that Dare to Care is going to plant its body here speaks volumes. And so we are appreciative. Thank you so much for the generosity of the Novak family. Thank you for choosing to invest in Dare to Care right here in the Parkland neighborhood. Thank you to Yum Brands for your investment. And Parkland is rising. Parkland continues to rise. And so we are so excited that all of you all are here because we are on the cusp of making history right here. And I cannot wait to see where this project is going. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Jessica. I know it's chilly and we're running late, so I'm going to make this quick, but there are a few other folks and organizations I do want to recognize. Louisville Forward has been an amazing partner in this. Mary Ellen Wiederwall and Rebecca Flyshaker, thank you guys for your support and counsel through this process. You were awesome partners. I want to give a shout out. He's a shy guy and he doesn't want this, but Chef John Meng back here. David knows that every great kitchen, every great restaurant starts with a great leader, and John is an amazing leader for us. And he's a little nervous about what we're doing to him. We're going from 3,000 square feet to 12,000. And I've told him, no worries, John. We just have to demonstrate to this group the return on their investment, so you'll figure it out. I want to recognize Ann Reed, the president of Kroger, who's in the front row. Ann's shy, and she won't recognize it, but Kroger has been an amazing partner of Dare to Care and has done so much to feed so many people in this community. And the Zero Hunger mobile market that we mentioned earlier is doing, Jessica, exactly what you asked for. It's bringing fresh, healthy food to food deserts like Parkland and making sure that people with money are able to buy food. So, Ann, thank you for your leadership on that. And then finally, I'd encourage you to take a look at your program and at the signage around you, and you'll see many of the other partners and supporters in this project. There's too many to mention today. We'll be back in April for the ribbon cutting, and we'll go through the full list of everybody, but be sure to take a look at that, and if you see anybody you know, let them say thank you. Before we move to the groundbreaking, I have some exciting news. We're about $1 million, a little over $1 million away from completing our campaign. Well, that's not the good news, but that's pretty good news. And we haven't even gone public with it. But today I can announce that we have 3 donors who have stepped forward with a collective challenge grant of $300,000 to help us get to that goal. They include the Harshaw Foundation, Frank and Paula Harshaw. They include the Brown-Forman Foundation. Carly Lanius is with us today. And they include one anonymous donor. So let's give those folks a round of applause. And last week, I learned that we received our first $7,500 gift in response to that challenge from Sue and Richard Pickren. I'll have to point out that Sue happens to be an employee of Dare to Care Food Bank. So how's that for employee engagement, huh? So if you are contemplating getting involved, now's a great time because your gift will be doubled, and we're thrilled about that. So that concludes our program. We're going to move over here for our groundbreaking ceremony. So if you're here, move to your right, and if you're here behind me, move to your right. Move to your right.
And we'll throw it on 3. 1, 2, 3.